Alright guys, so today we're going to quickly review how to add rational numbers. Hopefully you remember that rational numbers are basically a quotient of two integers where the denominator can't be 0. So basically a fraction, where the top number is an integer, the bottom number is an integer. Remember that integers are positive and negative whole numbers including 0. So let's jump right in. Before we start, please have your composition book out at home or a notebook piece of paper, and you're going to write WSQ, you're going to whisk it. There's nothing much you can write for the watch. Summarizing it, I want you to pay close attention to my examples that I give you. Maybe write down some of the examples step by step so that you have something to look at in class. And also, when you guys get back to class, that's what I'm going to be checking to see if you guys watch the videos through your WIS. And then questions, just write any questions you had about the video, the lesson, or if you have no questions, pretend you're the teacher and come up with the question that other students might have so that we can talk about it in class. Alright, so let's jump right in. Here we have find the rational number of 1/8 plus 5/8. Well, by now you should know that if you have the same denominator, like denominator, all you have to do is add them straight across. Go with blue. So I have 1/8 plus 5/8. Since they are the same denominator, you just carry that over. 1/8 plus 5/8 is equal to 6/8, and then you just reduce that down. I know that 6/8, a common factor between 6 and 8 is 2. It is the largest common factor, so divide both by 2, and I get 3. 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So my final answer is 3/4. Okay. This one is 3/5 plus 1/5, the same thing, same denominator, so I just add them straight across. If you're not really sure about the whole denominator being the same or different, the general rule of thumb is go ahead and multiply your two denominators together and then simplify at the end. So for example, I'll do the normal way first. Since both are the same fifths, I know the answer is 4/5. I can't reduce that down anymore. If you're not really sure, there's too many rules to remember about rational numbers and fractions. Just go ahead and multiply these two denominators together, and I know that I'm going to change this fraction right here to 20/5. And if I multiply the bottom by 5, I better multiply the top by 5. I get 15/25, plus this one's going to be 25ths as well. And I'm going to multiply that by 5 because whatever I do to the denominator, I do the same thing to the top. Add straight across. 20/25, reduce that down also to 4/5. So either way would work. If you're not really sure, go ahead and just remember that you always want the same denominator for adding and subtracting rational numbers. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna show you guys a quick, easy way to add fractions or subtract fractions without common denominators. It's just a quick way. It involves a little bit of multiplying and then adding and subtracting accordingly. So in your notes, I want you to write this problem down. 4/5 plus 2/3. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to box or put a rectangle around each fraction, including the symbol to the left of it. So here I have a positive 4/5. I'm sorry for that weird looking rectangle. And then I have a positive 2/3. This 4/5 goes on top. Just put it right there. The 4 goes on top of that box, 5 goes on top of that box. And then this positive sign goes right here in this box. And then 2/3. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply our rows by our column. So you have this 2, this 5. If you want to think about it in terms of drawing a straight line, the 5 and the 2 meet in this box. You're going to multiply those two numbers together and get 10. And then you take this 4 and this 3. You multiply those two numbers together and you get 12. And then the last box is this 5 and this 3 and you get 15. So you'll have 3 numbers. Let me rewrite that a little neater. So we have 4/5 up here. Addition symbol in the top left corner. This first box is always going to be your operator. And then you have 2/3. Multiply. And then here we go. This last box goes straight out. That 15 goes straight out. That's always going to be your denominator. And then starting from the lower left hand corner, you're going to move up and then to the right. So you have 12 plus 10 is equal to 22. I'll put that on top of that's your numerator, and you get 22/15. And you reduce that down. That's going to be improper fraction, so I know that 15 goes into 2 once, and what's remaining is 7/15. And that is my final answer. It's kind of cool how it works. Next, go ahead and try this on by yourself. Go ahead and pause the video and then push play when you're ready to check your work. I will continue on. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to box each term. I got positive 7/12 and positive 1/6. This operator immediately goes into this box. And then I'm going to rewrite my fractions. So I get 7/12, 1/6, and then multiply my rows with my column. I get 12, because 1 times 12. 7 times 6 is 42. 6 times 12 is 72. So I have those three numbers. This number goes straight out. That's my new denominator. And then starting in the lower left hand corner, I'm going to move up to the right. So 42 plus 12 is equal to 54. And then just reduce this fraction down. And I know for a fact it reduces down to 3/4. Okay, and just a quick moment, if you really don't want to do this way, and just like I said at the beginning of the video, you can always just multiply your two denominators together and change both of them to 72s, and you get 6 times 12 is
Wyatt Burkhart to the office,
42, and then you have this times 12 is 12. You get the same thing. This is just using this box method just as a quick way to organize your fractions and then simplify down at the end. Alright, so let's talk about the subtracting one. Remember in math we really don't subtract. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the opposite. And then I'm going to box each fraction with the symbol to the left of it. So I have two fractions here. I have 3/4 and I have that plus sign, and then I have negative 1/6. Pay close attention to how I wrote that. I did 3/4 plus negative 1/6. And then I multiply it. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Remember the positive times the negative is negative. I have 6 times 3 is 18. I have 6 times 4 is 24. So there's my new denominator. Outputs that, 24. I have, starting at the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, go up, and then to the right, following the symbol, 18 plus negative 4 is going to be 14/24. We'll reduce that down, divide both by 2, I get 7/12. And that is my final answer, 7/12. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try this one by yourself again. And I will move on. First thing I'm going to do is box each term with the symbol to the left of it. I have a negative 2/3 and a positive 5/6. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my box. So, looks something like this. Put my lines in. Remember, you always want the 4 quadrants, 4 boxes. Okay, and then first thing I'm going to do is put this negative 2/3 up here. Put the plus sign in the upper left hand box, and I get 5/6. And then from here, I just multiply my rows with my columns. I get 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and circle those so that you can see how it happens. So this 3 and this 5 multiplied together will give me this 15. This negative 2 multiplied with this 6 will give me this negative 12. And then lastly, this 3 and this 6 will give me that 18. And that 18 is going to be my new denominator. Go straight out. So 18. And then bottom left hand corner, go all the way up. Add straight across. I get negative 12 plus positive 15. Think about in terms of money or the number line. If I'm sitting at negative 12 and I add 15, I'm moving direction 15 spots. So that's going to give me a positive 3. And that's not my final answer because I know 3 goes into 18 6 times and 3 goes into 3 itself once. And my final answer is 1/6. And that's how you add and subtract rational numbers.